Welcome to season 15 of the 15-ish Minute Coffee Chat, a conversation providing tips for every entrepreneur and business owner.
So what if the only thing standing between you and the success that you crave is you? In this episode, we sit down with Jessica Wright, ACC-certified life and coach, career development coach for leaders. Excuse me, Jessica, for it's too much coffee today, but we're to talk about saboteurs. Those sneaky, fear-based thought patterns that hold entrepreneurs back from showing up confidently in their businesses. Jessica is going to break down how to identify your inner saboteurs, the power of mental fitness, and how to move from burnout to bold action. So you're going to walk away with some tools today to stop second-guessing yourself and finally move forward with purpose and clarity.
Yay!
Hi, Anna.
Hi!
I'm very excited for today. We've been laughing because it's the end of the week. We're doing a recording. Myself, Anna, and Jessica are very glad that tomorrow's Friday. Even though I had said, wait, what's tomorrow? And we just had a good laugh and oh, that's right. It's Friday. So,
Yes.
Anna, are you ready for tomorrow to be Friday?
I am ready for, it just doesn't matter so much right now. The entire weekend rolls into the week and there is no break.
I know.
There's no break. I get a break every day. I go swim or something like that. And then that's my break. Otherwise, It's just constant go.
Yeah, Anna does not like to hear when I'm like, God, I just took a nap for hours. It was crazy. And she's like, let me poke my eyeballs out. You know what I mean? So
do you know what's great about this start of this conversation, though? It goes so in line with our topic today, which is about saboteurs, right? I mean, we're talking about self-sabotaging and mental fitness and all of that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
And I know that what I just said to you is my saboteur, which is why it's going to be such a
Jessica's in the background, taking notes. You know what I mean? Full disclosure, right? Jessica had posted something on LinkedIn when she kind of moved into this phase of her coaching business. And I was like, I'm jumping on this. And so is Anna. We took her assessment test. We scheduled a session with her. And I mean, man, I was so all in on this, understanding myself better. And as you know, we've talked about Anna is also a Gallup Strengths Coach certified. I mixing up all the words, but pretty much all of them, though, exists. And I thought it was such a great pairing for me, just understanding myself better. And it was so on point when Jessica and I had our session. I just kind of was like, oh, and so I know I'm really glad she's here today because I think business owners and entrepreneurs, we do sabotage ourselves, and I don't think we realize we do.
Yeah. Yeah, we do things and we've created habits that are not healthy for us, but it's because it's such a natural action for us.
Yeah.
We either don't know how to stop it or we don't recognize it's happening until it's already happening. And then it's too late to back out most of the time. So I want to throw out our call to action for our audience today. Our call to action today is, what inner saboteur do you think shows up in your business and how do you deal with it? Now, granted, we're at the start of our conversation where we haven't even named the saboteurs, but right? In your head, where you go a little bit wonky, wonkadoodle, whatever you want to call it.
When we said we're going to use kind language today. So
I think wonkadoodle's kind.
It's very kind. No, it's very kind. I just wanted to just mention out there. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I think the most important part for me is when you give certain things a name, it really kind of helps you to identify what those kind of parts of you are doing.
Yes.
And so, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I think being able to say out loud, I know I do this, has a power behind it. And that power can be to make changes, right? But if we refuse to even acknowledge it, guess what we don't choose to do? I'm not speaking from experience or anything.
Denial. Hey, look, me and Anna both have our assessment results also open on our other tabs, just if we want to reference back. But Yeah, Anna. No, never, ever, ever. So I think what we'll do is we're gonna pull up. Let's see if I do this right, and we're gonna pull up the bio, and Anna Larson is going to read a little bit about Jessica.
I am. So, Jessica Wright is an ACC-certified life and career development coach. She helps new and emerging leaders build confidence, lead with purpose, and create lasting legacies without sacrificing their personal lives. With a master's in transformational leadership, she specializes in guiding clients through burnout and into bold values aligning actions using brain based tools. Jessica also hosts the Unfurling Leadership podcast.
I mean, she's fantastic. And I think Jessica knows how much me and Anna really adore her. So without further ado, let's bring this lady up. So, ta-da!
Hi.
Hi,
Jessica. I adore you.
We're so glad you're here and just kind of ready to dive into all the questions. But I guess I know first we have to take our coffee cup selfie. So, or water tumbler, or do you know what I mean? Soda, whatever you got in front of you.
I pulled out a special one for you all today. Ooh. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Beaker.
Guys,
look at the back.
So if you, man, that's how I feel on a Monday. Like, if that makes sense. So for those of you listening on the podcast, Jessica has like the most fantastic mug. It's Beaker from the Muppets, and on the back of her cup it says "me." You know, like how Beaker is. So, okay, sorry. Let's raise our mugs one more time and take a really great picture. So on 3, 1, 2, 3. I feel like I'm like, shouldn't we be like you know, with me?
I don't know. I just I use the Beaker Meep in all formats and situations. There's a happy Meep. There's a my husband just keeps yapping and we're just like Meep.
That was me and my husband last night when we were in bed, and all I wanted to do was just play my bingo game on my phone, and I was like, I don't want to participate in any meeping. Like, I just watch your show. It's okay. I just want to make sure everybody understands. Meeping was talking. That's all. So, okay, we're gonna move Jessica around, and we're gonna dive into the first set of questions here. Anna's gonna kind of throw them out. So let's do it.
Yeah. So as I mentioned earlier, our topic for today's show is stopping self-sabotage and then boosting confidence and mental fitness as a business owner, small business owner, entrepreneur, whatever it is that you're doing, right? So Jessica, our first question today, what is a saboteur and how do they impact a small business owner's mental fitness? I mean, we got to establish this before we can dive into the topic, right?
Yep. A saboteur is the voice, or not bringing the best news here. There can be many saboteurs. There can be a chorus of voices in your head holding you back. Like, that's very basic what a saboteur is. The messages in your head that keep you from doing what you want to do, what you're meant to do, what you feel called to do. A saboteur is the voice telling you that for whatever reason, it's not the time to start your visibility efforts. It's not the time to launch that offer that is just so needed and you've got fleshed out perfectly. It's nobody's going to want it. That's the saboteur. The saboteur is the voice that woke me up in the middle of the night last night and was flipping out about the broken link that I shared with you all when I, agreed to come on the podcast, that people will be able to sign. And I was just like, the self-judgment that I put myself through at 3:30 in the morning, when I have far better things I could be doing at that time. That was my saboteur moment last night. Those are the things that are holding us back, when if we had a way to say, oh, hold on.
Yeah.
And then shift them into, okay, here's the issue. And now I'm stepping into a time of creative problem solving, and I feel empowered then to take an action.
Yeah.
That's a way better, flow for us.
No, I think that's why I love so what you described, right, is it's not like you're going to take this assessment test and then all your saboteurs are magically going to disappear. I think why, and I said it earlier, is I love that you helped me identify with the different saboteur archetypes that there are. I can name it and I can say, oh, this one's pulling forward and I need to shut her down, or I need to kind of process through this with her so I can, like you said, why am I freaking out about a broken link?
So and I think a lot of those saboteurs tie into us wanting to do our best, right? Yeah. Like it's all about wanting to put our best foot forward, our best face forward, impress people, be recognized as the experts that we are, make sure that all of those educational things that we spent years and years doing and paid thousands and thousands of dollars for are showing in what we're providing and putting out as business owners. And so that saboteur comes when it's almost like an imposter syndrome that comes and flies in your face and says, hey, not good enough because you made a mistake, right? Yeah. And it's not giving yourself that grace of being able to say, wait a second, it's all right. We can fix this. We're still moving forward. Everybody makes a mistake. It's not the end of the world. I do love that you were up at 3:30 in the morning worrying about that broken link, because I guarantee you, Celine, I have not heard her stop talking about the broken link since you sent it. I'm just kidding.
I knew it. I'm shocked you even let me in the room today.
Because it also stresses me out. And I know what one of my saboteurs is this anxiety. And I mean, we'll talk about this obviously in a little bit, but I know exactly which one was coming forward and what I need to do with her so that I cannot stress out. Sometimes she wins and sometimes she doesn't. But I think the fact that, but no, yeah. I mean, when you say that, okay.
Saboteurs are a fear-based response. Yeah. And this is why I love chatting with Anna about how having the strengths knowledge is so complementary and really important to have when you start talking about the saboteurs too, because the saboteurs are fear-based, almost like shadow responses to your strengths and your gifts. And these saboteurs, more bad news, sorry, they never go away. But what we can do is learn how to catch them and say, all right, fear has no place here right now. I am a strong, empowered person who can make good decisions with the information I have, maybe even get some more info, and we can right this ship, So at 3:30 this morning, I woke up sweating, literally, freaking out about this link. Why I didn't think about it earlier in the evening, who knows? It just chose that time, right? And fortunately, I have the tools now to, for about a minute, take some deep breaths, do some mental fitness exercises. And then I was like, all right, I would love to go back to sleep. So what we're going to do now, is, think about some solutions here. And so I had a few, and I was like, all right, I think one of those 5 will probably work out and can be dealt with tomorrow morning. And then I went back to sleep, and here I am, still a little bit of a hot mess express, but much more rested than I would have been if I had just allowed myself to lay there and stew and freak out and assume that you all were judging me and that I'm a terrible business owner and I should just burn it all down and, yada, yada, yada.
Oh my God, burn it all down.
Yeah. I'm imagining all our saboteurs are like, oh, hold my coffee, I'm going in. And they're like, ready, I'm going to freak Jessica out, or I'm going to freak Anna out, or I'm going to freak Selena out.
Yep.
And I do love the pairing, like as you and I had talked in our coaching session, how you had said, I loved that you had said it's like the shadow to kind of the strengths portion, because you're right. Like, look, we'd love to say that everything is fine and dandy, but it's not. And I think the more we understand ourselves, the more, like you said, the more we're able to right the ship. you know, because that's important. I mean, I don't want to be that lost ship in the fog. I really don't, you know?
I want to jump in with the strength, just like
Yeah.
to comment on that strengths portion of things, because one of the things Jessica and I talked about is when we are discussing strength, if you're a strengths junkie like I am, you'll often hear the terms dial it up or dial it down, right? So you've got these top 5 strengths. You've got 34 different strengths just in varying degrees of effectiveness that are working for you, right? But those top 5 are like your natural go-tos. And when they're dialed up too high, that's when your saboteurs start to appear. Or if they're dialed too low and you're not using them, that's when saboteurs start to appear. Like when you are dialed into, this is how I can work things the best, you don't see those kinds of issues popping up as much. But when you go too far one direction or the other, then all of a sudden you're out of whack. It's like you're not operating at optimum level. And then you start to see the fear-based responses of, what am I doing wrong? What's wrong with me? Even though strengths is supposed to be all about like that positive impact, right? It's not what's wrong with you, it's what's right with you. Focus on what's right with you. And so I feel like even with the saboteurs, it's recognizing this is not something that is bad about me. It's my response to a situation, right? And I can fix this. It's not something that's ingrained and you're never going to be able to make it better, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I would never use a tool that its aim was to make someone feel like something was wrong with them.
Mm-hmm.
At the very heart of my coaching philosophy is that no one is broken. We are not country songs. No shade to country fans. I'm going line dancing later tonight. But country music has made us think that we are broken people. And I just don't think that's true. I don't think that's a thing. We are having a human experience, doing our best, and we can always add in new tools to help us process our experience and make the experience better. We can always do that. And I love strengths. I love the saboteur stuff. I love Myers-Briggs, like all of it. I love therapy. I love coaching. I need a support team to get me through every day. And I'm just grateful for all of the members and tools on that team.
It's like you were in my mind. I did go to this like I Heart Country festival last weekend, and
I saw that. Yeah,
I was telling Anna. I said it's so funny because I didn't know anybody. Country music is definitely not the genre that was on my playlist growing up. And I went with a good friend, Annette Wittenberger, and I said to Annette, I was like, when we left, I said, so basically, don't waste your whiskey on the broken love. Like that's the gold is the whiskey. And there's always broken hearts. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I was like, that's what I'm taking away from it. Even in like today's modern country music, you know? So I love that you referenced that. But yeah. I love that. Anna, let's shift over to our next question, don't you think?
Well, it's not even really a question. What I want to do right now is you can actually keep us in that 3-person pose, because what we're looking at right now is, let's talk about our saboteurs for just a moment. Okay. And I think I spelled saboteur wrong. We are not like,
I thought for 1 second I wrote that because that's a total Selena thing. Don't you worry, guys. If you're listening to the podcast, you will not see what a saboteur did to Anna.
Look what I just did, though. I righted it, and the ship is all better now.
We're just gonna move on.
Okay, so listen. In my Clifton strengths, my number 1 is strategic, but my number 2 is achiever. Okay, and really achiever really kind of takes top billing in most of my life, to be honest, which is all about getting stuff done. So is anyone surprised to find that when I took Jessica's assessment test, that my top result for the self-saboteur is hyper achiever? Shocking.
Clutch your pearls. Yeah.
Went through my pearls.
All right. What about you, Jessica? What about you, Selena?
Selena, go for it.
So I so my number one saboteur, right, is hypervigilant and pleaser. And with my top strength, like Anna, I'm strategic, and I don't know why I'm racing to find my number two. I'm blanking on what my number two was, and but a part of the thing that we did with Jessica was we were able to she's like, let's pick a saboteur and let's talk about it and why. And she goes, let's not technically, we don't have to do the first one. So I was like, let's pick pleaser. If my video is a little slow, guys, don't mind me. It's just a Thursday, kind of a Monday. Okay, wait, real fast. I brought my stuff up. Let me see if I can find out what my number two is, because I feel like anyway that it's related. But
I feel like I might have it too. I'm searching as well.
I'm like, but I know, but pleaser was the one that we discussed, and it was just really interesting to kind of. I don't know what my number two. I don't know what I just don't have my.
Okay, do you want me to list?
Yes.
Your top
yes.
three?
Yes.
Okay, hypervigilant was number one, pleaser was number two, and hyperachiever was number three. Like Anna.
Like Anna.
Boy.
Mine
Well,
just
like Anna's number one.
99% hyperachiever. Thank you very much. Move on.
That's all you need to know.
But it's really interesting. And then when you break it down and read the rest of the report, how hypervigilant works against you, with you, whatever, however you want to choose it. And it is very fascinating. And again, I think you have to be in an era of personal development, professional development, and understanding how this does affect you so you can right the ship.
Jessica, what is your top saboteur?
Yeah, well, I'll give you my top four because I think I shared with both of you. So hypervigilant is my number one right now. Thank you, childhood trauma and being a military spouse. And then it's stickler, which is like perfectionist stuff, aka the 3:30 in the morning wake up. Pleaser is next for me, and then avoider is number four. And the most recent time I kind of went through and worked on this, I actually chose to focus on avoider because I could really see how my avoider was firing up the top three. Like avoider was making the top three way stronger than they needed to be. And I was like, maybe if I like touch on this avoider a little bit and just let him or her know that I know what they're doing, maybe they'll chill out a little bit. And it was very effective. Like I've really been appreciating, and especially as an entrepreneur who like needs to get up and start my work at some point during the day and not just drink a whole French press of coffee and like schedule coffee chats with other people. We actually need to get some stuff done eventually. Mm-hmm. That was really helpful for me to focus on.
I have to ask, and this is so not on script, but I'm so curious, like, what would you say for two business people that work together? Like, let's talk Anna and I, right? Her top one is hyperachiever and mine is hypervigilant. Like, what could be a problem that her and I would run into? Like, is that even something you've researched about yet? Or, I
haven't really. I mean, I haven't researched it. I think that just off the top of my head, what is always the issue when one's gifts or strengths or challenges are firing and another person's are firing? Like the communication is going to go, you're going to miss each other, right? You're going to miss. And like, if you're not aware of Anna's strengths or saboteur, and she's over there like getting ish done. And you're just like, I need a minute, and you have a very good reason to need a minute to go take a nap. And she's got a really good reason too to get it done. You're both in the right. Neither of you are wrong. Yet that's going to create tension. And so if we're not communicating about what's going on in our heads, good or bad, then there's going to be some real communication misses and tension building that can eventually really cause issues, right? So I'm just all, I mean, I know that there's a time and a place for everything. And, you know, it's good to hold some things closer. However, every opportunity I have to just like let someone know how it is, so we don't create that tension, because I'm a pleaser. Also, I don't like conflict. And so if I can just head it off at the pass, like I'm going to do that. And so that was my initial reaction to that question, but I haven't researched it.
No, I just, it would be fascinating. I mean, I know how Anna and I work. And by the way, guys, I found myself, my number 2 strength, Gallup strength, is communication. And so it is interesting with those two and the saboteurs. But Anna and I do, you know, we actually work really well together. And I think we're very we're very okay with each other's quirks. Anna knows how I am. I know how she is. And we're very accepting. No, I mean, I'm just not say we're using kind words today. I just felt that was a kind word, right? You know what? I'm just gonna move it. I'm gonna meet. Okay, so
no, but seriously, Selena, it is interesting your question, because if you look at the saboteur test that I took, and I know that these are ever changing based on situations that you're in, your season in life, what's going on in the world around you, you know, all of those kinds of things are going to change the levels that you're going to find in all these different areas. But at the time of taking this test just a few weeks ago, Selena's number 1 is my last one, right? So she's hypervigilant, and it is like the lowest of the lows on my list. And in my head, it makes for a good partnership because of our communication ability, because we're able to talk with each other. It's like a success story where I hear her fears, but I'm able to help her navigate through them. And she sees my overachieving, and she reminds me to take a step back and take a moment and, you know, think it through before I just continue to plow ahead. And so I think in that way, it's almost like we complement each other in those strengths versus saboteur kind of moments that we do have. And so anyway, that's the way I would see that.
No, I love that you said that, Anna, because it was after I took Jessica's saboteur assessment, and you and I were wrapping something up, and it was a tech thing, and we were like, oh, and I went like deep down in this hole of hypervigilance worry. And as soon as it came out of my mouth, because you were like, I don't think that's something we need to really worry about, Selena. But I mean, I know when I said it to you, I was like, that's ridiculous, Selena. Like, why would that even be a top priority concern right now for Anna and I? You know what I mean? But it was that I recognized, oh, it's my hypervigilance was ramped way up. And Anna thankfully caught it. And like she said, we do have good communication skills with each other, you know, and so we hear each other. We don't talk at each other. So anyway, this is not about me and Anna. It's about Jessica. So
no, I know. Well, one of the things I want to just mention too, though, is Jessica, what you were saying about communication. I felt like we were rehashing our little coaching session that we had, right? Because basically what it came down to for me, so my top 2, I'm outing myself here, but my top 2 saboteurs were hyperachiever and then controller. Imagine that, right? So when I don't feel in control of the situation, I want to take control of the situation, right? And one of the things that Jessica helped me understand better was simple communication techniques are going to allow that control to not look so much like controlling and more like leading or, you know, being part of the team, as long as I am speaking verbally my expectations. And that's where I realize, for me at least, I'm falling short in that saboteur area. Like, I've got a goal in my head, but how often do I share that with the people I'm working with, right? And that's where controlling comes in, because I don't see them working at the same pace or with the same focus or towards the same goal as me, but I haven't told them what I want, right? Anyway, it was just a really good moment of like, really what it kind of feels like it comes down to with these saboteurs is talk it out with yourself, talk it out with your team, talk it out with your spouse, talk it out with your kids, right? Like whatever, wherever that saboteur is showing up, it's almost like communication becomes like this very key part of helping smooth that path and make it not so intense and fear-based.
Yeah. And now you have more language to do that, right? Like it's another tool in your toolbox to give you the words to say, this is what's going on right now, or this is what I understand of what's going on right now. And that can be so helpful because like, I'm sure we've all been in situations where we're like, I truly feel like insane right now. But yet what is happening? I don't know. And so it's just so nice to be like, okay, I'm a little off at the moment, but here's what I think might be going on. And that gives you kind of a direction to explore, which is so helpful for not getting stuck in the spiral, not getting stuck in this rut of not making anything happen that you want in your life or your business or whatever, just because you don't have the words and you feel like something's wrong with you. And then, everything we've talked about, right?
So we kind of talked about the communication aspect and then having the words. Is there another technique or mental shift that you would want to throw out to our audience that's listening today that's like just another one of those things to say, hey, if you find yourself in this fear-based saboteur situation, do this?
Yeah, definitely. So one thing I want to add, I don't want anyone to think I'm taking credit for this body of work that this is based on. This is based on Shirzad Shamim's body of work. He has a book and a program called Positive Intelligence, PQ Coaching. It's a tool that I am working on being certified in and I'm allowed to incorporate into my coaching. So just want to give some credit there. I didn't come up with this. I didn't come up with the archetypes. I didn't come up with the saboteurs. But I am allowed to to help people with theirs. So anyways, wanted to get that out of the way. What was the question again? Oh, okay. Right. The tip. Got it. I wanted to give that credit because he's developed this whole mental fitness program to develop what he calls the sage. So moving from the saboteur to the sage, where you can be kinder and more creative and more empathetic. And so there's this whole list of exercises that essentially help. I think what they do is they move you from your head back into your body. That's how I would describe them. Like they remind you that you're not just the spiral of thoughts and fears going on in your brain at the moment, and that you have a physical self. And once you have kind of moved into that, then you are able to get your brain back into the sage. So all that being said, my favorites, one is just breathing, which we all know, right? We've been told 1 million times to just take a deep breath, take a moment. But it really does work. Like even taking 3 deep breaths can get you to the place where you're able to think a little more clearly, right? But this one's my favorite, and I think I told both of you this in your sessions. One thing is taking your thumb and your forefinger and rubbing them together with like such intention that you feel the ridges. You notice any temperature or texture changes. You can run your thumb around your finger. And just do that for about 3 breaths worth even. You can do it longer if you want, but even doing that and then coming back to the situation can be a really great thing. And doing that a few times a day is really helpful. I think I told you, one of the reasons I like the finger thing so much, the thumb and the forefinger thing, is I can do this with my hand under the table or while I'm having a conversation. And no one knows. It doesn't look weird. It's just me like keeping centered in a difficult conversation. So that's the one I always encourage people. I know, like, when we did our sessions, something we tried was we kind of did a sampler platter, right, of all the PQ exercises. And one that people tend to really like is with your eyes closed, take some deep breaths, and then start to listen for the farthest away noise you can hear.
Mm-hmm.
And then listen for the closest noise you can hear, which might be your own breathing. And just taking some time to do that can be really helpful. Like, before you're stepping into what you know is going to be a difficult situation, or maybe you just left a difficult situation, or like me, for the 5th time, you've gotten a notification that your link is broken and you're ready to drop kick your laptop across your office, which nearly happened a few weeks ago. We're just going to take a minute, and then we can say, okay, we've known this program stinks for years,
Right.
and it's time to sign up for a new one and get your links hosted somewhere else. Get your landing pages somewhere else.
You know, I want to kind of go back to the first one you talked about, breathing, and it's so funny. Jessica brought up like that exercise, and I thought, oh, I suck at breathing sometimes. So then my focus is never on the breathing, but did I breathe enough? And so Jessica actually brought that up and said, that's why we did the other exercises, because sometimes one doesn't work right for you because your saboteur kicks up. Mine does, because and we were talking about, oh, my plea, I want to please Jessica and let her know I know how to breathe. And I really don't truly know. I am not a fan of breathing exercises sometimes because I don't do it right. Which
is so fun. I think it's interesting that you worry about whether or not you're doing breathing right. And this is why hypervigilance is so low on my list right now, people, right? Because I'm like, why do we care if people think we're breathing right or wrong? It's like, but I get it, right? This is me empathizing with you, you know, because I'm sure this.
Yeah, that's really your pleaser, like, you wanting to, like, and that's something as a coach that I'm always aware of. Then, like, when I'm working with someone, a fellow pleaser, like, I know that I may have to dig a little deeper just to make sure that what they're telling me, they're not telling me because they think I want to hear that. Like, no, we're not here like, if you're alive, I assume you're doing fine on the breathing thing. And that's literally all I care about.
Okay, good point. You're like, Selena, you got the breathing down.
Yeah, you fall over, and then, you know, I'll find someone to call. I don't know who exactly, but I'll figure it out. The hypervigilance in me will kick into high gear, and we'll get you taken care of. But yeah, it's definitely, and I think I shared with both of you, like, just talking about saboteurs can make them go, oh, hello, I'm here to play. It really kicks them up. And so that's why we kind of start off with those what we call PQ reps, those mental fitness exercises, every time we talk about this, because I guess we should have started the show this way. Oops. All right, everybody stop, take a few deep breaths. Okay, we're good. But yeah, I hear you. Like, they don't all work for everyone, and that's okay. I'm not grading you on which PQ reps work for you.
Yeah. I love it. I love the conversation. I love that with saboteurs, that knowing that they're there, but also knowing how to take that power away from them so that they stop being saboteurs, even if they don't ever quite go away, right? There's always going to be a little something somewhere because we're human, we're infallible, we make mistakes. It's always going to be there. Don't get all stressed out about this, my hypervigilant friends. Don't get all stressed out about that.
No. Remember that, Anna. I am your hypervigilant bestie here. You know?
Yes, I love it. All right. So what are we going to have Jessica share with us so that our audience can take home with them?
Are we talking about a toolkit? Is that
where we're at? We're talking about the toolkit.
Okay, God, I wasn't sure. I was like, wait, what? Where are we at? Okay, hold on, guys. I got it.
We all get cars. I bought everyone a car.
I was worried about this link for days at 3:30 in the morning. So now we're going to share the link.
Sorry, I was like, wait, I'm not caught up. Okay, Jessica, as everybody knows, we love sharing a toolkit with our audience. And this is the link that we have been talking about, like Anna said, from the moment you got on the show. So tell everybody what this is, why they need it, because they don't want to be silly gooses and not take it.
Oh my God, I hope this link works.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that just popped into my head. Ooh, okay. Panic over. All right. Saboteur, be quiet. So basically this is your opportunity to get your own link to take the saboteur assessment. It takes around 3 to 5 minutes. It's not very long. So you'll put your name and email in here, get that assessment link, and then totally optional. But if you send me a picture of your results, then we can go ahead and schedule a free saboteur discovery session after that. And you really do walk away with a better understanding of why these saboteurs are firing for you at the moment, and what you can do to sort of start to redirect them.
Yeah. Highly recommended, people. Highly recommended.
Yeah, I really enjoyed my session, and we still have a follow through. I do see the emails, Jessica. I promise you it's on my task list. Because
okay.
I do want to do a continued something, right? Because I really do find it, I think it's good for yourself to kind of always like find out who you are, why you do the things, so that you can have a better like next day, you know, because there's less confusion walking in. So, okay, so we will make sure the right link, though, guys, will be on our show notes, in the podcast link, and on YouTube. Don't you worry, it's gonna be there. So, where can everybody find you should they want to continue conversations with you?
I need to say, like, I love you both so much. So you can find me on my website, jessicawright.online. Honestly, the best place to hang out with me, though, is on LinkedIn, linkedin.com/in/write-life. And I post there pretty regularly, and, you know, always respond to chats and that kind of thing. So yeah, I'd love to connect with you all. Please go follow and send a connection request too, because I really enjoy being in conversation with you and hearing what's going on. And I promise I'm really nice and not pushy. And yeah, I think that's it. I'd love to connect with you.
First of all, saboteur pleaser, get out of there. She doesn't have to tell you that she's kind and nice, because she's a fantastic human being. So.
I know, it's just, we're living in wild times, right? Like, this online business thing is not for the weak of heart. And I know that there are a lot of people out there doing weird stuff, and they're in my inbox too, y'all. And I just want you to know that you're going to be safe. It's okay with me.
You are, and you're going to get some good stuff. I mean, I walked away with a to-do list, which is where I thrive, right? So I walked away with a to-do list for my coaching session. Selena's like, there's no worries in the world. Yay. So
it's funny though, I know that my personality is like, hey, no worries, but I literally am like a running rampant anxiety driven person, right? But my pleaser doesn't want others to ever feel inconvenienced by my anxiety. Anyway, see, you guys, we could have like a show about strengths and saboteurs. Like, so we'll have to figure something out for the next time we have Jessica on, because I love these kind of conversations. And I think it always helps people when they can kind of figure out who they are. So this is where I'm supposed to be quiet, you guys, because Anna closes our show. I put on some Oscar music and I just kind of flash hearts to our guests. So here we go.
Jessica, thank you so much for being our guest on today's 15-ish minute coffee chat. For all of you that are out there, make sure you head to annandselena.com/blog for Jessica's show notes, which are going to have links to all the different places you can find her, as well as that saboteur test and anything else that we discussed today that we think is relevant for you to have a connection to. You can also find us or connect with us at annandselena.com. We'll also love to hang out on LinkedIn, or you can find us on your favorite podcast platform at the 15-ish minute coffee chat. So with all that being said, we want to say thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you on the next 15-ish minute coffee chat. Bye.
Bye.